The lens of the camera is its secret magic power. It stands at the point of interface between illusion and reality. It can present a subject from so many points of view, receiving and defining images and framing them in space, conveying visual experience to the viewer. A lens is able to bring things closer, so easily, so subtly, and in an instant of time. A change of lens brings differences of angle, a change of perspective, changes of color. In what we call reality, nothing has changed. Only our perception of it through the lens. But then a lens is made of glass, and glass is like that. We live in a world bejeweled with glass. A world embracing the versatility of glass in as many ways as the camera lens. The possibilities are endless when there is collaboration between the architect and the modern flat glass manufacturer. The transformation of common materials into architectural glass by the float process, a method invented by Pilkington, is one of the great industrial achievements of the 20th century. The basic glass former is sand, but other raw materials are added, including limestone and dolomite, to act as stabilizers. Another ingredient is soda ash, a fluxing agent used to lower the melting temperature. Glass is made in a continuous flow process. Each stage in the operation is accurately timed. Cullet, or broken glass, is also added to assist in the melting process. Glass to make glass. Materials are fed to a tank furnace for melting and refining. Temperature of the melting end is a searing 1500 Celsius. Man's intervention in the process is confined to surveillance, watching, recording changes of temperature. The eyes are sometimes human, sometimes electronic.
Alan, go to the exit end, please, and adjust your gap burners.
A continuous ribbon of molten glass, it moves out of the glass melting furnace and enters the float bath. As the ribbon advances across the surface of a bath of molten tin, it cools down in controlled stages. The speed of drawing 4 mm thick float glass is about 1 kilometer an hour. With each surface, perfectly flat and parallel, the glass leaves the float bath and continues to cool in the horizontal position during a journey through the annealing layer. The endless ribbon is much cooler now. only about 200 Celsius and cooling all the time. A first image of glass so transparent as to be barely there. A liquid turned to a solid. A float glass line may run for 5 years, 10 years, without stopping for breath. 20 kilometers of float glass a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, enough to stretch from St. Helens to Hollywood. Computers govern the cutting process, matching the complex orders to the continuous ribbon of glass. Visual inspection confirms the flatness of the glass, made with a sophistication that extends science to the point where it becomes an art. Huge sheets are maneuvered with nonchalant ease. The automatic warehouse stands by itself as a major advance in flat glass technology. Glass made in the horizontal plane is more familiar to all of us in the vertical one. Walls of light. Glass is tough. Flat glass that has been drilled. Toughened by heating it to near melting point, cooled quickly and on the move. Then ingeniously bolted together to cover vast areas in a system that conventional glazing could never cover before. Windows as walls, standing free of the internal structure. This is engineering in glass. To the architect, it is the planar system. To the world, it is the Pilkington wall. Glass to allow the architect to design with light. Toughened glass, armor plate, is fitted to cover amazing areas as surely and as snugly as brick or stone. But glass is toughened for other tasks. To allow people to be safe at play and seen at play. Tough. Transparent. A safe material in the home. Glass to protect us at work. Toughened against thermal fracture. Glass is also laminated to provide security. Layers of glass interleaved with plastic. Laminated safety glass is useful in all kinds of security situations. It can stop shotgun and rifle bullets, depending on the numbers and thickness of layers. Even after a crime has been committed, there are uses for glass. One-way mirror systems allow the watcher, in this reconstruction of a police identity parade, to watch unseen. Clear glass is plain glass. It lets in the most light. But glass is not always wanted for its visual clarity. Glass can be tinted to control excess light and direct heat from the sun. Glass, therefore, is cool. The ability to absorb or reflect heat is an important property of glass in Pilkington's range of solar-controlled glass. Shades of blue, bronze, grey, green and silver. Colour introduced either in the body or in the surface of the glass as a thin metallic coating. It includes heat-absorbing glass, such as anti-sun float glass. Glass to reduce glare and insulate against the excessive heat of the unfiltered sun. Or heat-reflecting glass, called sun-cool. Float glass which is reflective colour-coated on one surface after it's been made. Tinted or coated glass is as much to be looked at as looked through. Glass that looks good outside and feels good inside. Solar heat admitted during the day can make a very valuable contribution to the energy requirements of a building by night. To retain expensive heat and limit heat loss from a building, Pilkington have a range of glasses to control the internal environment using the principle of double glazing. Double glazing units permit an ingenious mixing and matching of leaves of flat glass with different properties for the transmission of heat and light. Glass is environmental control. Suites of glass permutated in a variety of ways to illuminate and insulate the environment in which they are used. Thermal insulation is one function of double glazing. The other is sound insulation. We live in a noisy world. In addition to the visual appeal of glass, its appeal to the eye, it can also take account of the ear's response to transmitted noise. Outdoor noise reduced to an acceptable indoor level. The work environment, wherever it may be, accounts for only part of the day. We also go home to glass. In the home, we have a more intimate relationship with glass. Double glazing may be nothing new, but units with an inner pane of coated glass, known as cap-afloat, are a revolution. The outer pane of glass lets in the warmth of the day, and the cap-afloat leaf keeps it in. An invisible mirror reflecting warmth back into the room day and night. As a system, it's as effective with 2 panes as triple glazing is with 3. Double glazing that meets every benchmark of energy legislation. Glass, then, is warm. An essential property not always associated with glass is fire control. This is Georgian wired glass, manufactured by the continuous rolling process. Wire is actually laid on top of a molten layer of glass. Then, after passing through another pair of rollers, a second ribbon of glass is rolled on top of the wire, which is now sandwiched in the center of the glass. Georgian wired cast glass is a translucent or obscuring glass with a textured surface. It provides light penetration and privacy. Surface grinding of cast wired glass and subsequent polishing turns it into a transparent one. The grinding medium is sand and water. Then, using a mixture of rouge and water, the glass is polished. Both types, translucent and transparent, are remarkably resistant to flames and smoke and keep them at bay for more than an hour. Georgian wired glass has many uses, including fire-resistant partitioning wherever people congregate. This glass too is resistant to flame and smoke and also heat. Visually indistinguishable from ordinary float glass, it's an effective barrier that can be seen through. It also conforms to modern fire regulations. Pyrostop, aptly named, is not only resistant to flames for over an hour, on exposure to fire, it forms an opaque shield. It is also resistant to radiant heat, almost touchable, when the temperature behind the glass is still 750 Celsius. It means that architects can add visual appeal as well as safety to their interior design. The process of rolled glass manufacture also produces another range of glass to obscure. From the pattern on the bottom roll, a figured rolled glass is formed. This time, glass is decorative. Glass is fashion. Decorative pattern glass can introduce a new dimension to interior design. The designer is able to complement individual taste in fabric and furniture. Many of the ideas are inspired by nature. Contemporary glass, designed in the traditional way, using the hand and eye of the artist and craftsman. But beauty in glass is also created in the sophisticated mind of the modern computer. Computer-aided design brings a new freedom for designers and architects to work together creatively, selecting from the whole range of Pilkington flat glass. The next generation of glass from Pilkington will push back the frontiers of what is possible, spearheading innovations at the leading edge of technology. Scientists and glass technologists dedicated to progress are already making the leap to land on the unknown, where the imagination can roam free. Holography and diffractive optics using laser light sources. Shielded glass to put an end to electronic eavesdropping and protect confidential data. Alarm glass to foil intruders in buildings where the particular environment is the one we choose. Glass in designs capable of resisting full armor-piercing ammunition. Glass as old as time, but as new as tomorrow. Today, it is difficult to photograph any cityscape without being impressed by the quantity, quality, and sheer splendor of glass. Glass so varied in shape, form, color, and use that it offers completely new perspectives. More buildings to beguile the eye and attract the attention of the camera lens. One of the miracles of modern technology is the making of float glass. The process of glass making never stops, day or night. There is more to glass than the eye can see, as many facets as there are lenses for the camera, an infinite variety that makes the glass industry what it is today, all-embracing. What it is tomorrow will depend to a large extent on Pilkington, because glass is Pilkington, and Pilkington glass is like that.